practice closing the knowing doing gap. So in learning, there is this thing called the knowing doing gap. And what that means is I know I have to save. I know I have to eat healthily. I know I have to exercise. But how do I actually motivate myself to actually do it in the real world? So the knowing doing gap is not just related to money, but you can think about this in the context of all the shoulds and all the things that we ought to do, but somehow or other we don't actually doing it. We don't end up doing it. And so one of the key things around the knowing doing gap is the whole aspect of practice. And by practice, it means trying it in little small steps daily, and then hopefully with these little small steps and this conscious effort that happens over the course of 14 to 21 days, we end up putting on this habit and actually feeling this sense where at some point this habit becomes almost unconscious. That's really the beauty of building habits through small steps. And one of the key things I've learned, especially about money, the flourishing life, the good life, or the goals that we want to set in our life, it really takes practice. And sometimes practice is hard. It's something that we don't want to do. But beginning to practice even these different forms of principles that we've put together today actually takes time and patience to get down to doing it. So the key thing really is about practice. It's about these daily choices that we make and the daily small steps that we take to build towards this flourishing life that we want. And so an example of this closing the knowing doing gap when it comes to money for me in my life, one of the key things really is that it takes practice also to put my money into the 5 pillars, and it's saving, earning, spending, giving, and investing. It sounds very simple, but taking time to sit down perhaps for an hour or two on a Saturday afternoon to go through my portfolio and how my money is being spent on a monthly basis. This takes time and energy, and having this sense of practice helps us to get a sense of grounding. And so one of the things that me and my husband do as well is this aspect of what we call build the house day. And so we take time to mark out an afternoon on a Saturday, perhaps for an hour and a half or 2 hours, really just to dialogue about what are some of our key goals when it comes to money, and what are some of the expenses that we need to shave off and to cut because, we have certain budget constraints in a month perhaps. And so thinking through and putting time to this sacred space takes practice. Even going to the level of saving, right? And automating our money into this particular account for our saving goal, that takes practice to do. But the good news also is that when it comes to automation, we can really make money work for us. And this is something that we will share a little bit more in our next module. And perhaps for you today, think through what are some of these small steps that you would like to take. Perhaps just start with one small step. What is one small step that you like to take to close a particular knowing doing gap in your money journey, your life journey, or in your discernment journey? And let us know how that goes for you.